Hey, it's Greg here, and in this video we're going to continue disassembling the Chevelle. Gonna remove the wiper motor, the booster, steering column, brake pedal, a few other things, getting ready to remove the body. All right. Five 16s. I suppose I should pull these out if I can. Went like that, green on top. That was not plugged in as far as I could tell. Seriously. Ha! So I'll bet you that one went there. And I had unplugged it because I didn't have wipers on it. Instead, I just had the washer shoot whatever I had in the container onto the back tires. It's got a weird washer on it. Might be a no prep race for you. Oops. All three had that weird washer. And I actually got to disconnect it back here. So here's what it looks like in the cowl. I'm just going to remove the two nuts. That'll allow me to pull the wiper motor out. So the vacuum booster. Two nuts on each side. And that should pull out. I also removed a ground wire here that went somewhere. Thought it was to the distributor, but maybe not. It's a little awkward getting into these. Okay. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. All right, and I'm actually, and I got to unbolt that one. That should allow me to unplug this whole wiring harness. Three-eighths. Yes. Get these wires out of the way. Now I want to remove this just so it's out of the way, and it's got a lot of weight on the front. So I'll just pull those nuts off. All right, save one of the top ones, this one, for the last. That way it'll stay up in there while you take the others. Stay back against it. Come on. It's still sticking on the rod, still sticking. So tuck back way up in here, your brake pedal, and you see the line, you see the rod that goes in here, that goes into the booster. Now, right here on the side of the mechanism, right here where my finger is, there's a clip, should be there. It looks like this. Yeah, mine was so rusted it broke when I was pushing it out with a screwdriver. So it's out now. However, in my case, this is so rusted I can't get the pen to slide. And I don't know if you can see, that's the other side of it. So I'm gonna be trying to knock that pin out this direction, and that will free that up. With it disconnected from the brake pedal, and it should pull right out. You notice I don't have that U that went over, that this went into, and then that pin went through. So this is your adjustment. And what I ended up doing, I could not get that pin out. It's just rusted solid and it's breaking up. And so instead I backed this nut all the way to the end of the threads and kept turning, and it just pulled, unscrewed this rod. The wire that is going to get you, this one right here, it goes down right to here, your proportioning valve. It just pulls, pushes on and pulls off. Took a little twisting, but it came off. So you might forget that one. Well, until you pull on it. Brake booster's out. Now I got all the wiring, pushed it over. Now we got steering column. We're gonna need to pull that out. You can leave it in if you're just lifting it a little bit, but if you're gonna pull the body completely off, you gotta remove it. And while I'm out here, if you have a column shift, this is where the linkage will be. So you got to remove that. And we come under here. Okay, I've already removed the plate, the little plastic cover. There's just should be four screws, one in each corner. These bolts right here are the two that'll let it drop. But first, wires here, wires there. Then we go back to the back. There's a clamp right here. It's got a bolt on both sides, top and bottom, I should say. And then you've got these four. You'll want those all out in order to pull the steering column forward and out. Now, if you unbolt this, it'll hang. You don't really want that. So make sure you got something under the steering wheel to hold it if you're going to do it that way. I'm going to actually start over here first. Okay, the wires are unplugged. They just got simple clips. Push in and pull them out, and then they are nicely hanging in your way for everything else. 3/8 inch bolts. Now this top one, I've got a flex head ratcheting wrench that does work on it. There's like no room. I'll have a link to the ones I use. So with those screws completely out, start doing these. They're also 3/8. Well, a little cramped under here. And get the other two. So this is the other side of it. And there we go. I'm just breaking the seal loose. So under here, the speedometer cable. Oh, that light is it causing a screen flicker? Sure looks like it. That's not cool. The speedometer cable is really in the way, but this will break in two. But it'll take two hands, and that'll let it slide out of the way. So they're out. And yes, the seal is toast. There's a big hole now, so it'll fit through. Now we got to get these out. All right, let's see if we can do this without it falling on me. Ooh. Okay, it's stuck. That I didn't expect. I don't want to pull down. Mash myself in the head. Okay. All right, I have a cloth on the top of the steering column up front. Problem with magnetic bases is they pick up all the rust and such. Okay, that should just come down. There, I think it's coming. Put some more rags around the other end. Try to minimize the damage. Kind of crazy. I didn't expect this. Getting wires out of the way. Alright, so I'll edit the video, make it look like it just came down with no issues. Yeah. I don't do that. This is real. This is what they don't show you on those TV programs. So I'm literally using a screwdriver and putting it in the gap and turning to get it to come down a little at a time on each side. All right, we should be close. Why not? Wow. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay, well, I was lifting up on the, pulling myself up on the steering wheel. I don't have that anymore. Well, it's laying there. I loosened that up, made no difference. So I'm just taking it off, disconnecting it at the rag joint, 1/2 and a 9/16. Okay, so that's loose there. I really wasn't wanting to do it this way because that's going to drag, but okay, seriously. What now? I think I just need another person. Ah! Oh, that hurt. Okay, I just need another person to direct that while I pull it out. Somebody that won't be happy about getting dirty. Huh?
You getting me on camera?
Maybe.
You didn't tell me that. It comes my hair.
All right. Okay, because of where I'm doing it, I got someone to help me direct that through the hole. All right, are you ready?
Maybe. Sorry.
And that's the hard way. You probably can't even see this in the camera. Thank you.
Making lunch.
Okay, steering column's out. All the way to the rag joint, which works out. And here it is. I believe perhaps this clip right here, you can pop that out. There's also one here that holds, there's a ball in here, keeps it from coming out. And hopefully I did not do any damage pulling on it. Still feels tight in internals. And there's your wires and stuff. And it was just tight on those bolts. All right, I got another part I got to find room for. My plan has been destroyed by this twisted frame not letting me get the trunk in, guaranteed 100% straight. So, oh well. We made progress. We're going to be removing the windshield. And I do highly recommend, if you don't have one of these tools, go buy one or borrow one. I'll have a link in the description. And they make it so easy. But all you do, and you know, obviously you got to be careful. Slide it under the windshield. Then with this one, you pull, this one you direct. And you probably can't see any of that because my arm's probably in the way. So like right here, slide it in, turn it, okay? Now you just pull. Now when you hit a clip or something, you may have to work around it. But they will go either direction. And just carefully work your way around. And it's just separating the windshield from the channel there, cutting through the butyl. And I have already unscrewed the chrome piece that goes along the bottom. Just some 5/16 bolt. So we do top here. So I put it in like so. Turn. It's just cutting. I hope you can see that on the video. It's just cutting butyl or silicone, depending on how yours is in. And you're going to just go all the way around the windshield. The back window works the same way. And you hopefully can see right in here. That's where the blade is cutting. Ah, you gotta be kidding. And that's what you don't want to do. Ah. Yeah. You gotta be more careful than I was. Yeah, it's cracked. I cracked it. Alright, that really does suck. That does suck. There was, I mean, this was old glass, but it wasn't. It has a little bit of a flaw right here, but that was, you couldn't really see that. Okay, so if you're gonna use this, be very careful. You can also use, they have a metal they have a metal like rope that you can slide in, and you can have on each side and kind of saw through. Oh man, that sucks. Well, I was planning on I was hoping to flush mount the windshield. Oh, look. Oh, man. All right, there's just something there. There's something right there that was catching, and now it's cracked even worse. So what you want to do when you're cutting with this is to keep the blade from touching the windshield or the rear window glass. Keep it down, keep it a little up, and it's just for some reason it just wanted to catch there, and there's the results. Yeah, the back one was too easy to take out, and this one was going too well, and wasn't paying enough attention. And I'm glad I wasn't using that to hold the windshield, or that would have just popped too. Wow. Well, I've run this thing through the windshield 2 to 3 times. Just loosening it up. I've had no issues cracking. There was just that one. You can see. It's mostly out. I went ahead and removed you have these little pieces on these A bodies that bolt here, one over on the other side that hold the windshield up. so it doesn't slide down. I went ahead and pulled those out so I could loosen under it. All right, and you really want two people. When this slides down, doesn't matter for me anymore, but when it slides down, it could hit your wipers. All right, I'm gonna wait until I have an assistant to help me pull those out. And as you can see, this has now gone all the way down. And this thing, I did clean the windshield, but it's an old, scratched up windshield. This thing is unreliable. See there, it feels like it's really hooked, but then it's gonna come loose here in a minute and just slide back down. It's done it a few times. All right, with the camera recording this time. Sometimes on these GoPros, you do the fast record and it doesn't actually record, it just turns it on. Okay, so I've been pulling the butyl off, and I was looking here because that should not have cracked. Should not have cracked. And I'm looking, and it looks like it was chipped right here. It's also chipped right there. And because it was chipped, I was pulling it, and I did touch it just enough, causing it to crack. And if we look up here, I already pulled this off the first time I showed you. Oh, but it wasn't recording. Right here, there's no glass. There's no little pieces of glass as you would expect. So that tells me that that chip was already there, and I just had the misfortune of finding it with the tool, and it cracked. That's one of the realities working with a old car. With the master cylinder off, steering column is obviously also off. Lots of stuff is off. In fact, went ahead and pulled this high-dollar Spark-O-Matic cassette radio. Might even be a stereo. It is awesome. Hey, highest bidder. You pay shipping though. I pulled the tack out, and with steering column out, that frees up the brake pedal assembly, which you see right here. And let's see, I might be able to get that one off without breaking it. It's not all rusty. But there it is. There's a spring here that went to something. I don't remember taking that off. There's the old rusty brake pedal assembly. Now I am hoping, plan is to go to a manual 5 or 6 speed, so that might be replaced with one that has a clutch pedal and brake pedal. We will see. All right, it's time to take more stuff out. I'm just trying to get weight out of here so when I lift it, it won't be so heavy. Remove the kick panel. It's over here, just a couple Phillips screws, and it looks like it may have been a fresh air duct in there, and I did. And on mine I have the air, and it's just, this was up here, and it's just held on by those 3 bolts and nuts, and Oh, look. I'm thinking a mouse is in there at some point. So out here I removed the throttle cable and the kickdown cable. And let's see, I removed, there was this box here, was here, and there was a ground cable here. And by the way, when you do a ground, it is best to have this kind of washer that has the multiple teeth that will dig into the actual metal, give you the best ground. And there are some wires that come in right here. The green one kind of ran through some other stuff and wasn't actually plugged in anywhere. That's it. The black one, which comes from this box, which is orange and a fuse, and this black wire was quite long, and it, if I can find the box, there we go, and it actually was right there into this. I'm guessing this is some sort of relay. So I'll have to make note of that. But I think everything connecting the body and the chassis or engine should be out. All right, we made some good progress, and I appreciate you all watching. Verse of the video, it's going to be Matthew 23, 8 through 12. Now, this is just a few days before Jesus' crucifixion there in Jerusalem, and he's going to condemn the scribes and Pharisees, two of the major religious parties at that time. But do not be called rabbi, for one is your teacher, and you are all brothers. Do not call anyone on earth your father, for one is your Father, he who is in heaven. Do not be called leaders, for one is your leader, that is Christ. But the greatest among you shall be your servant. Whoever exalts himself shall be humbled, and whoever humbles himself shall be exalted. Wait, did I read that right? Oh, so Jesus here is condemning any religious leader who wants to exalt himself, specifically by having a special title. Yet so many religious leaders today, well, let's see, you got father and pastor and reverend, and I could go on. They want to be called by these special titles that Jesus just condemned. So be wary of any religious leader that wants a special title, wants you to refer to them with a special title that exalts them, because that is exactly what Jesus just condemned. And that is why I encourage people to read the Bible for themselves. All right, hope this was helpful. If so, like, subscribe, comment, and God bless.